I took it upon myself to be organizing this summit as an advocacy program because we must get away from growth and begin to look at development in the real sense of the word.
Advocacy for linking employee wellness to national productivity gained further momentum at the two-day fourth edition of the Employee Assistance Program Summit in Nigeria, powered by Sages and Scribes Limited. Focusing on the theme, Employee Wellness, Our Employees Are Our Greatest Asset, the event brought together human resource experts, public and private sector leaders, and employee assistance program champions to chart a pathway for enhancing human capital development in the country. In his opening remarks, the convener of the summit, Venerable Adelowo Adeshina, provided insights into the choice of the theme and the link to social development.
Employees are our greatest asset. It's not merely a conference theme. It is a timeless truth and a compelling call to action. Every successful organization is built on commitment, creativity, resilience, and well-being of its people. By the way, not just organizations, but even nations and people. If we as a nation must go places, if we are going to turn around the rot in the nation, these are values that we must honor. Commitment, creativity, resilience, and the well-being of our people. There are always two sides to a coin. The government perspective is that the nation is doing well. In all sincerity, it can be said that the nation is doing well. If you are an investor on the stock exchange, Nigerian Stock Exchange is one of the most viable and active in the world. So if you go by that indices or index, Nigeria is doing well. There is a difference between growth. Those who say Nigeria is doing well are looking at economic growth, which is not filtering down to the people. I took it upon myself to be organizing this summit as an advocacy program because we must get away from growth and begin to look at development in the real sense of the word.
Goodwill messages and keynote presentations from private sector leaders, government officials, and industry leaders buttressed the value of employee wellness and engagement through the Employee Assistance Program in catalyzing productivity, efficiency, and transformation in the Nigerian economy.
At Chevron, we remain steadfast in our belief that people are our greatest assets. Their well-being matters, their voices matter, and their success matters. We are proud to stand alongside all stakeholders committed to advancing employee wellness and mental health.
So our employees become our greatest assets when we consistently invest in their health, security, capability, dignity, and capacity to perform. That just sums up everything. And I'm sure you can see that this also tallies in line with what the earlier speaker spoke about.
Eddie, respected and secure workers build thriving organizations and equitable society. And it is the business of all, not the business of employers only.
Wellness is a destination, it's not
a point in time, and it's something you must continue to focus on, because the needs of your staff, the employees, their needs differs and will change. The environment also changes with time, and so your awareness program will continue to change also with time, so that the workplace will align with the changes in the needs of the employees and changes in the environment, making those three attributes: environment, workplace, and the persons.
We all need contextual intelligence. Assess the occupational context, including workload. I think one of the greatest deterrents to jackpot in Nigeria is not just the brain drain, it's the workload that the rest of us are carrying. You can never be sentimental about anything. Show proof. Don't get to conclusions based on hearsays. You've got to bring evidence to the table. Next and penultimate suggestion to you: support managers without converting them into counselors. We are running mentoring and coaching programs in our organization as if the manager can mentor. He's a technical lead. Don't give the work of EAP to a manager. And I'm saying you can equip them to do it. But if you have not been trained and certified to do it, let the professionals do the job.
When we are personal to our staff, when we make the manager, the line manager, to be able to have that psychological idea on when to talk to them, on how to talk to them. Train them, because it's the line manager too that have most of this problem on themselves, right? Train the line manager. If the line manager can get it, it's not by saying, for me, you see, you are not okay. Can you go to the clinic? No. You may not need clinic. You only need counseling.
Continuing with the tale of executives. So they touch other people, but they are untouched or hardly touched. They are inside because they are employees, but they are actually offside, right? So we say that they're supposed to be inside the circle because they are employees. But the way we treat them, and sometimes the way they view themselves, it's like we are there, but we are not there. What do we desire? What we desire is that there is an embrace of executive coaching, and there is a positive response to it. So if you apply the reinforcement-based leadership concept to this, that is the desired behavior, embrace and use of executive coaching, what we have. Spot successes here and there, but overall, no. And if you check your conscience as you sit down today, you are probably thinking, how can I reach out to executives and senior leaders? How can I do it? But I'm telling you that you have the seed. You can continue to nurture that seed. Be determined to make a difference. Start with yourself. Build your own skills, your competence, build your credibility. Get a mentor to support you. And just learn to combine those three things: honesty, respect, and courage. And you will be able to move mountains with executives. Thank you.
The truth is this: we are definitely more than our bodies, aren't we? And the natural does not come first. Are we in agreement with that? You know, it's a circle for the man. We start in the spiritual, we manifest in the natural, and we return back to the spiritual. Now, this is where you should be thinking. And you asked a question that I loved at the end. When you said, how do people feel after they've worked with you or with your organization? And we all sit down here as if we do not have any part to contributing to how people actually feel or experience this side of heaven. I'm drawing our attention to the fact that you will return somewhere one day and you will give account. So it's important that we bring that component into the workplace so that whatever you need to do in the workplace to ensure that it is wholesome, not just for you and your pocket, but it is also beautiful for others.
The two-day summit featured robust and insightful presentations cutting across topics like EAP as a strategic business tool, creating the culture of care in the workplace, human integrity management system, EAP supporting executives and senior leaders through confidential coaching, workplace burnout prevention, early detection and intervention, workplace spirituality and employee well-being, managing workplace conflicts, crisis response and business continuity, the role of EAP, and the practice of EAP OC in high-risk industries. A panel discussion also re-emphasized the importance of EAP in organizational efficiency. Highlight of the event was induction of new members of the Employee Assistance Program Association of Nigeria. Key stakeholders, industry leaders, participants, and the convener speak further on the 4th edition of the Employee Assistance Program Summit and the key takeaways for increasing advocacy and adoption in Nigeria.
EAP practitioners, HR practitioners, there needs to be a handshake looking for how people can actually make their voice heard without being punished or being stigmatized. And this will actually enhance productivity, inclusiveness between, and a strong bond between senior management and employees of several organizations.
It's been impactful. It's been full of series of learning. I've learned so many new things that as an HR professional I can implement personally and also professional, that's in the workplace. Then also I've aside from the learning sessions, I've met new people. In fact, it's been an amazing time to even reconnect back. So this summit has been wonderful. In fact, I've been so grateful to God that I'm here today for this year's old, and I'm looking forward to many of these summit. So it's been a very impactful one for me, and learning has been very continuous. So anytime I have the opportunity of learning, I'm always eager and happy, and I'm glad I'm here to learn again, and I keep learning and growing. Thank you so much.
EAP really sits down below the value chain, right, downstream. And what we need to try to do is to ensure that beyond just the counseling, the and crisis management, that EAP can become a tool we can use to provide signals and sensing and I call it the health integrity intelligence, right, that can be used with other intelligence, health intelligence data we gather, to help organizations make decisions that can continue to manage the integrity of the workforce.
So when we say employee assistance programs, some immediately think it's only mental health. Now, yesterday in my talk, I talked about the Ds, the stress Ds of life. Those Ds will include divorce, death, disease, disappointment, diet, demands, duties, being discredited, being disillusioned. All these Ds of life, they can become a problem and a challenge to individuals who are working to be productive. So if you can manage those Ds, or give them the right tools to manage those Ds. So for example, some of the EAPs offer financial advice. It may be that's what's troubling the individual from enjoying full health. So by giving them financial advice as an EAP support, they can manage their finances better and they worry less about debt-related issues. If it's a problem with childcare, you may be the one signposting them to the right nursery where they can have a good creche, where the children can be well looked after. So the mother is not worrying about the health of their child and thereafter being distracted. The last thing you want, which is another D, is distraction. If you're distracted and you're doing something that's safety critical, you make a mistake. That mistake may be quite costly. So that is why employee assistance programs should not be narrow, and that is one of the things we've seen here. There is the spiritual aspect, there is the physical aspect, there is obviously the mental aspect, and of course the social aspect.
The very heart of EAP is ensuring that the employee thrives. Ensuring that the employee thrives. When the employee thrives, then it impacts on their performance. And what we want to foster in every organization is an environment where employees are firing on all cylinders, are able to give, their very best. That is what will enable first their own performance, and then they aggregate the organizational performance. And what EAP does are structured programs, interventions, more even proactive these days to think ahead of what do we need to do to ensure our employees thrive. And this cuts across different areas, from mental health, financial, stability, emotional intelligence, even just counseling and social, support. So a rounded holistic approach to ensuring that employees are supported proactively with the resources, support, and programs that they need to ensure that they are thriving. Because we know that as they thrive, it will show in their performance and it will show in the organization's performance.
We're looking at establishing more collaborations with labor unions, professional bodies, so that we can collaborate together. Because, it's not just one person. We have other allied professions like social work, occupational health physicians, and, CIPM, NECA, and all of that. So we are looking towards, these collaborations with them so that we can strengthen, employee wellness practices within the Nigeria workspace. So that's something we are looking at. And to think about it, we are all fighting for the well-being of the employee. So we are not enemies, we're on the same page. And if we can work together, we can achieve more.
Social infrastructures should be put in place. Social enterprise should be inculcated into the national plan. Social services to all who need them. Social welfare on a means-tested basis. Yes, EAP started, and the advocacy for EAP on my part had been in the formal sector. But what we have done this year, knowing that the government is the highest employer of labor in the nation, we have gone to Lagos State and we are getting them involved. And if a state like Lagos State should embrace it, then most other states in the nation will also embrace it. And even local governments should begin to look at the welfare of their people. They get so much money these days that if we have constructive plans in terms of providing social infrastructure, it shouldn't just be road, street light, it should be education, health services, human capital development, basic needs. There was, in the 80s, the International Labour Organization was promoting a development model called the basic need model. Employment, housing, health, education. So we need to go back. That's what we need more than anything at this time in our national development. And any government that succeeds in doing that will be the darling of the people. And that's what will make Nigeria go forward. Otherwise, what I see, we are going round and round in circles. And how long we will do that for, only God knows.
A major takeaway from the 4th edition of the EAP Summit is that employee assistance programs should not be viewed as a benefit, but a strategic business imperative. Employee wellness is not tokenism and needs to be intentional and structural in its construct across public and private sector organizations. In the larger sense, Nigeria needs effective legislation and policies that support employee wellness measures to accelerate national productivity, enhance innovation, improve citizens' well-being, and deliver a win-win for revenue and growth for both the government and private sector leaders.